Have you imagined what else is possible? Most of the times we live in a life where you're wondering, you're dreaming, you're questioning yourself, you're asking yourself, what if it was different? What if you had another option? What if you had another way out? But most of the times it's us who decide when that way out is available. Because as you decide to become that, as you decide to do something different, what others don't do, it's how you should always decide and think, what if I wasn't doing that and I was doing something different? What if I had another option? What if I had another priority? That one question is always big in people's minds and around people, changing communities. What if instead of hating someone, you just loved them? What if instead of disobeying, you could just obey and see the magic work out? What if the business you despise is everything you've ever thought of? What if the delay you're creating is the reason why you're not achieving anything? What if it's always us, it's always that harmony, it's always that peace around us that gives us a second thought? When the world abuses you, all sorts of things, when the world tells you this, when the world tells you that, what if the world could tell you different? Because as every practitioner or service provider, you think, you imagine, you dream of what else can be. And in that possibility of what else can be is how you achieve better. What if this product was different? What if I had a different item on the market? What if I could do something different for everyone? It's the value of now. There is always that what if side of it all. Yes, I'm achieving this now with the little investment I'm doing, but what if I could invest differently? How would I achieve it? How would I really become different? What would be the result? Normally that's how science works or technology works. Everything comes with a specification, but it's always a choice of what if. What if something else could happen instead of that? What if you could have a different software on that machine and could do different wonders? What if you could invest in a better technology around you? The better technology around you can change everything. We've seen this around. We've been around communities that have accepted differently, that have accepted better. Why do you always think that you can't change? Why are you always in that comfort zone? Why are you always not becoming more? I have a friend of mine who would actually ask me a few things here and there sometimes when I'm down, when I'm depressed and I can't even move on. She asked me, or he asked me, Elvis, what do you want? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you think is wrong with me? But because she's a doctor, she could always think, if Elvis is like this, if his mood is like this, if he's not reacting as he should or other things, then probably something is not right. So that's the what if we should always have in business. What if I wasn't doing this and I was doing something else? It's always a mindset change, and it's always the value of now. While everyone else is totally judging and creating all whatever they are creating around you, what if you could be different? What if you could humbly harmonize the world around you? People want you to be different. People want you to be something. What if you were that something without thinking of anyone else? There are a lot of ideologies. There are a lot of questions around people's mindset. There are a lot of everything. The question is always one: what if you could be different? We go on seeking work, we go on seeking different adventures. But what if you sought differently? What if you had all the other different options around you? What if the priority changes? How would you go about it? It's always the power of you and the world around you. The power of understanding. Yeah? When different things can work out differently because of your decision, because of your other if. If this is happening to me, what if I was doing something different? Would it still be happening to me? That is the other if. If I did all that and it didn't work out and it's been all that long, what if I changed and did something different? Wouldn't it be different? If I tried all that and it didn't work out? What if I was doing something different? What if the power I was seeking from the other world was right within me? What if I wasn't fighting to become anything in life and just became that? Those are the things you should always ask yourself. Because as you endure, as you live a life where people are thinking of other things, you always have that if part of it. Yeah. That if. What if time manifested differently? What if the day didn't happen? And it was only dark all night through? What would have happened? What if one day it didn't become dark again? Would you still stay in the same mindset that this is the night and that is the day? Those are the things our predecessors or many of our elders didn't have ideology about. They didn't have information of what else is possible. They didn't understand what else can be. And their what if is not our what if today. No matter how much we try, there will always be something different, something unique about our what if. Because as we live to revoke certain things, as we live to understand certain things, we live also to endure certain things. What if the moment you are in was only waiting for you to make it different? I sit and wait and look at certain things and imagine things. What if it was just that and nothing more? That is something you should always ask yourself. While people think of all sorts of things, you should always think, what if that wasn't the end of it? What if always have that if mind in you, in business, in everything. Think of what else is possible. That is what you should do. You should always think of what other things are possible, what other greatness can manifest. What if nothing happened? What if you didn't have that? Those are the simple things we should always be asking ourselves. What if I wasn't in that peer pressure? As if I wasn't in those circles? What if I wasn't doing that? What if nothing ever made sense? I always ask myself, if I had a friend and watched her taken into or whisked away without help, what would be the first step to finding her? That moment, I mean, you are there, your friend is being taken away, you can't help. What if you could help such a situation out? What if you could help that moment? What if specialization could elevate you more? Those are the simple things I always ask myself. So as you thinking of all that, think of that. What if everything you said never made sense to anyone? People want to talk of different things, people want to understand different ideologies, people wanted all sorts of things. But what if what they wanted is what you wanted? Wouldn't it be different? What if what we thought to be sweet was actually the reason why we're not achieving anything? What if? That question, that mindset should always cross your mind. As much as I've said it, what if? It's the value of now, to always have that what if in your mind, the curiosity part. Fine, I'm going to do this, but what if I did something different? Dr. Rayyans Elvis, F02F Live Creations. Visit creations.org. All the creative